When it comes to working in security, most people think about officers in terms of what we provide. That would be deterrence, that would be response, and that would be protection. But there's another avenue that we provide, and that's the role of educator. I think that often goes overlooked, and that leads to people having a grave misconception about what it is that we're there to provide and what it is that we're there to do. Today, I want to talk about our role as educators, so join me for tonight's debrief. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. As always, I want to thank you for being a part of this platform. Remember that our goal here is to help educate, motivate, train, and inform new and willing to learn security guards. Let's get right into it. So, our role as educators, what in the hell am I talking about? Well, just the other day, I was working at this location, and it dawned on me that so many times people who are working in the role of an associate, right? Whether it's a low-level associate, even some of the mid-level managers, all the way up to the assistant directors, they just really don't have a broad understanding of what it is that we do in security. Now, clearly they understand that we're there as a threat deterrence, that we're there to respond to any sort of issues or emergencies, but the true understanding, the inner workings of the post orders and what it is that we're actually able to do legally, most people, they just don't know. You see this a lot when people are commenting on videos that are on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. The general perception that people have of security guards, what's the one thing that you hear most often? You guys don't do anything. You guys can't do anything. Don't you want to stop this person? Can't you stop this person? And most of you, if you're following this page and you're working in the security industry, you know that the answer to that is kind of yes and no. And also a lot of times it's a little bit of, well, it kind of depends. So in our role as a security officer, the question is, how much should we be educating the people that we're working for? It's hard to imagine that you would have to really explain our role as security guards and what we can do and what we can't do to the people who've hired us to work in that capacity. But think about it, guys. If you have a plumbing issue at your house, if you have an electrical issue at your house, regardless of if you have a general idea of how to deal and handle those situations, when the professional shows up, you kind of just turn everything over to them and allow them to do their job. And it's no different in security. People are expecting the security officers, the security companies to understand the parameters and the ins and outs of what it is that we're supposed to do. I can assure you that if you take the opportunity to help educate those associates that you're working with or the contractors that you're working for, everyone will have a much better experience in terms of the dynamic between the contractor and the supplier, which is the security company. So what would be 3 things that you could talk to your contractor or the associates that you're working around that would be beneficial? Educating them on the difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause, and how that relates to security versus policing. You have to look at this situation from their perspective. If you're like me and you're working in a location like this and you're all kitted up in a bulletproof vest and you have a firearm and all of these things that make you look like a police officer, it's not out of the question that people are going to think that you can actually respond to situations like a police officer. It's up to us as security guards to educate the people that we work around and that we work for in the differences between our role as a security officer and that of a police officer, explaining to them the difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause and how we can employ either, I think would go a long way in making people understand why we're either reacting to something or not. The second thing would be to articulate your position in relation to post orders, explaining to the people that you're working around that even under the greatest circumstances where you could respond to certain things, or if you wanted to respond to certain things, that based on the post orders, you can only operate within what you are allowed to do. I don't think that a lot of people that work in a retail establishment understand that security officers are bound by the post orders that are agreed upon by the contractor and the company. Explaining this could go a long way. Finally, and most importantly, I think it is so important for security officers to reiterate to all of the people that they work around and with and for, that at the end of the day, whether you're able to respond to things like shoplifting, whether or not you're able to stop things like theft, that your role as a protector is the most important thing in your absolute entire day. And that under no circumstances, when you're on that shift, are you going to allow anyone to hurt, harm, or place in danger any of those associates. I think that if you can get across to the people that you're working with and that you're working for, that regardless of any of the restraints that come along with working as a security officer, that your number one concern is their safety, that will put a lot of people at ease. A little bit of education goes a long way. And guys, even though it's not necessarily a part of your job description, by taking the reins and talking to the people that you're working with, you can create a much better working environment for everyone. And at the end of the day, maintain your job as that officer in that location. As always, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this platform, following this channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Watch your back, and as always, be great. All right? Be great.